Ooh.
And it's going to be matched up against a Timbersaw now.
Okay. Miracle Timbersaw. I love this. I love seeing him play Timbersaw, it is. This hero just feels, I mean, we saw Mu play it somewhat recently. This feels like people have kind of forgotten about him, but he can take over games in the right situation. Not sure if this is it, but.
Mineski definitely showed that they're still able to run that carry Timbersaw.
So we're doing Samael Ember.
Yeah, so I mean, no matter what, the Ember Spirit doesn't really have a good matchup here.
No.
He's either like versus a Lone Druid or he's versus a Timbersaw. It's a pretty decent Timbersaw game. I'm a little bit concerned that Liquid don't have one core to really make sure they don't get run over here. They're going to have to play that classic Lone Druid split push.
Okay, let's move on to predictions. Sunsfan, we're going to ask you first.
Liquid.
Before you, all right, okay, so you're going Liquid.
Yep.
Can we get a close-up, please, of Sunsfan? Because he needs to do the, it's happening, otherwise you're not allowed to choose it.
It's a really shitty version.
That's great, that's perfect. Okay, Liquid for Sunsfan. Cap, what gift would you like to create? Sorry, which team would you like to predict?
How dare you?
No gifts here, no gifts here. I think I'm also going to go Liquid simply because Game 1 showed Evil Geniuses, despite having a 6K gold lead at like 11 minutes or something like that, they weren't really able to close out that game, and they have to do a similar thing here in Game 2.
Okay, so 2 for Liquid. Okay, deep, sharp intake of breath because Evil Geniuses are on the rack. They have to win this one to stay alive. Are they going to do so? Let's find out with your commentary team of Purge and Toby1.
Hello everybody, and welcome back. Game 2, Liquid versus EG. How do you feel, man? The panel is like leaning the way of Liquid. They think they're on the horse and they've got the full momentum going forward, but have the boys in blue managed to trip them up with the draft?
Well, there's 2 boys in blue, so right off I'm confused, but it's a bit of a different draft than we saw before.
I think one of them bleeds it. One of them rides it.
Okay. Liquid doesn't have very many stuns. That's the first thing that kind of shouts out to me, except for Mana Leak. So I think that Liquid might have some catch problems to deal with Ember Spirit. But with that said, they have really good lane matchups, and like the panel was talking about, especially Cap. Sumail on Ember Spirit, that's a hero that has very low armor, so anybody that's right-clicking him is going to pose an issue. And Timbersaw laning against him is going to pose an issue because he can potentially deal with Flame Guard the first level or 2, and from there on out he should have a lot of regen, even though he is a little bit weak to magic damage. But I could see some place where EG maybe gets a lot done in their lanes with the Chen, for example, and then can snowball into the mid-game, maybe with Tusk and Lifestealer ganks.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it all does unfold. So just to double-check all of our lanes, our mid lane will be Matumberman versus Arteezy, so the Lone Druid versus the Lifestealer. That makes our bottom lane with Fear and Crit working together as Viper as well as Tuskar against the Coddle Bristleback of GH and Mind Control. And then up towards the top, it is Kuro on the wonderful Dark Willow working with Miracle's Timbersaw against the currently Chen, who's up on top with some Male's Ember Spirit.
So I think all these lanes look pretty much ideal for EG except for the off-lane one. With Timber being here, it feels like Chen's not going to be the most useful, may have to gank mid. And the safe lane, I think EG's relatively happy, but the Bristle and Coddle dual lane is really dangerous because he can cast Quill Spray twice in a row after Chakra Magic is used, and that's just going to amplify the damage he deals. So Viper's got to be pretty careful here, get a fast wand, and then hopefully just stay alive in this lane.
Yep. Right now, he can't even get up to the side shot. Mind Control's kept the lane shoved in so much, he's just battling underneath the tier 1 tower.
That's a safe place to be, better than being in the open lane when you can be chased down.
Yep. GH also has fantastic vision. Crit's not really getting any kind of surprise against Team Liquid thanks to the Observer Ward that was placed down by Liquid already. Similar warding up on the top, except the warding of Liquid actually blocks the pull camp, so Kuro will now be fully aware of this.
That could be really huge, actually. Dark Willow needs some levels to be more useful, and if he just gets zoned fully, could make his impact weak. But on the same vein, Chen's also got to get something done with his time. That might be hard.
Well, he's trying to. Like, the Mud Golem was harassing Miracle, but I think the more it harassed, the more Miracle just got more powerful. Even with a level 1 of reactive armor, it's still not enough to deal with the damage that Sumail's doing.
But either way, if Sumail can at least get last hits, he's going to be in a good place. He's got 9 right now, so that's a good start for him. And on the mid lane for EG, having a Lifestealer versus a Lone Druid is great, because every time you want a little top-up, you just slap the bear a little bit, touch him, get some feast, and a lot of health. And that's a huge
Sumail
kill.
Actually got it underneath the tower, but what really made that work were the 2 Shard Golems They're coming in.
That was 3. He probably summoned it. He throws the first one, uses Holy Persuasion on a new creep, and then it makes 2 new shards, so he gets 3 within a very short period of time. That's, what, 375 magic damage plus whatever Ember does? That's a really nice way to get a kill. I'm
kind of surprised it was still able to happen, too, when you had the Dire Observer Ward watching the movement of the Chen, of the creeps, so they knew what he was bringing up.
But that's what makes it deceptive, right? Because all you have to do is let your creep die, and all of a sudden you get 2 more shards. So it's like it's a trick play, basically.
It's going to happen again. If Sumail can get the Searing Chains off, they've got 4 stuns available. Here goes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bramble Maze is up, trying to create space, but Miracle will go down to Sumail. Now Misery wants to do the damage into Kuro, put the Penitence onto him, using that set of Tormentor to chase down the Dark Willow. It's no boots versus high movement speed. Hadouken's off cooldown. 1 more Golem stun, doesn't actually have it off cooldown for the moment, but Kuro under the tier 2 will be able to survive.
So sick how Misery played that. Finds the Mud Golem camp, sets up the first one, goes back and gets the second one, lets it die, and then ends up going for this play. Amazing that they're able to kill Timber twice in the laning stage. This is like the hero on EG's side that they expected to do poorly. It's Ember Spirit who always gets lane pressured, but all of a sudden they've killed the Timber twice, and now he's off to a rough start.
And you said it yourself, man, right? Like this Chen, maybe he should think about a different lane, but EG came with a plan, and it's working quite well. As long as Sumail can keep that attention onto Miracle. Kuro into the Shadow Realm will give us some chain-off damage, but then again, that Hadouken's back up, and Sumail, eventually Kuro will be sent back to base. It's like he's overstaying his welcome.
And this is one of the weaknesses of Dark Willow. This isn't pretty much all he can do in his lane. Occasionally use Shadow Realm to get a nuke off, do Bramble Maze for a follow-up when they're juking in trees, but in terms of actually fighting in the lane, I think this is one of the reasons that Dark Willow hasn't been touched that much this tournament.
Well, GH doing what GH loves best. He's already mass stacking up Ancients. So there's a triple stack of Ancients for Team Liquid on the bottom lane. Not to mention he's going to take both of the Bounty Runes and the Invis Rune.
It's a good grab, but not that much that he can do with it, likely.
Misery's cutting through. He's trying to body block, I believe. There's the Penitence, Searing Chains down. They've still got... Actually, no, he doesn't have the mana for it. In 1-2 seconds' time, that Hadouken will come up. But Miracle is safe back behind his tier 1 tower. The 10 points of reactive armor regenerating very quickly with the South.
Yeah, he's going to be just fine. From here on, it's going to be a little hard to kill him, but I think
Crit's actually here to fight too. Kuro came down, trying to get involved, but putting the Bramble Maze down. He'll go into the Shadow Realm, and Misery and Crit, they are staying with him. They're staying with the Dark Willow. She's got a little bit of extra space. Sumail gets caught in the trap. Here's just snowball forward. So Crit will finish the job.
And that's basically what you do afterwards. If you can't kill the Timber Saw, you just go for the support, and now it's going to make Crow probably take a hard look at the map and say, what can I actually do in this game? Maybe one of the options is ganking the Viper, but again, he's got to use Bramble Maze as a combo with nothing else to set it up.
Yep.
So maybe he goes back to the safe lane, again tries to delay Sumail getting things done, but it's looking kind of hard.
They got the Troll Trap up on top. Miracle in real trouble. The Centaur follow-up. There's shards to block him in.
Wow.
And this is one of the worst games we've seen from Miracle in a while. 5 minutes in, already 3 deaths to this Timbersaw.
And on the mid lane and the other lanes for EG, looks like Arteezy is sitting at 22 last hits, and in the safe lane it's 20 on the Viper, so I think EG is completely happy with this.
They're switching lanes now. Miracle's coming mid, Matumba's heading top.
Okay, I guess that works out. Keep the Lone Druid safe in the backline. He's still going to have to be careful, though. The crazy part is that Sumail's almost level 6, and that means he's going to be able to dive right on top of the Lone Druid if they do catch him. So.
This is why they're putting the defensive wards down. So at least Matumba can make a better decision when the supports move in. They know there's 2 of them on top lane once more. Kuro. Yeah, what do you really want to do here? Matumba can at least battle against Crit if he's got some extra movement speed. Hits the rabbit, but cannot close the distance.
And killing the tower would be a huge advantage for EG now. Kind of similar to last game, but I don't see these heroes catching up nearly as fast as something like an anti-mage can.
Yep. Centaur stomps over on the Bear. Matumba starts his run, and there's your shards. Bear will come back with the Bramble Maze from Kuro, create space for Matumba, but then again, Sumail brought along inside the snowball. The combination of fire and ice really working for EG on the north.
And the tough thing, I think they'd prefer if Miracle was the one maybe that died again, because he didn't have a good start, so he's a low net worth hero. But now if it's Lone Druid getting these last hits mid, going top and dying, then they're just spreading the misery across of Liquid.
Yep. I'm still wondering just how long does it take before mind control is going to start to become a factor. Like, he's about to hit his level 6. We're looking at that big stack that GH has managed to prepare. So there's a large amount of money for both GH as well as for mind control. But the top lane, they just keep going. Kuro, you could maze it up, stunned, held in position, won't take the damage, but cannot escape from this. Surrounded on all sides, Team Liquid, they have just lost this top lane so hard.
Yeah, Misery's doing this really well. Perfect pressure, constant pressure, just making it hard for anybody to live on the top lane. And again, they still sit Lifestealer mid. He's almost ungankable just because he can press Rage and because Liquid doesn't have disables. And other than that, it just comes down to just fear feeding his lane. But the creep wave has always been so pushed that he's pretty safely just constantly under tower. He picks up level 6. He's got some items. I think EG's in a really good place right now.
Yep. Well, Team Liquid, there's a small ensnare on Sumail. There's no follow-up, however. Like, I'm...
Dude, he's got BOTs already.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Not even 8 minutes into the game, they're still trying to kill off Matubama's berry. Doesn't ever resummon for another 100 seconds. So if they lose it, it's going to really hurt.
Trying to keep this catapult alive could make the difference in the tower push. But
All
they'll hold it for now.
My control TP back to base. He's headed towards the north. I'm really surprised they actually did this and didn't just almost accept the fact that Tier 2 tower was lost. Mainly because that stack is so huge, they have to get this into the Bristleback.
I'm sure they'd love to do it, but I mean, defending their towers is so important for the survivability of their heroes.
Oh, this sent back from Misery. Sumail could just spirit himself around.
That is pretty cool, actually.
It's the cheapest way.
Let's go on magic build. He's only level 6. He has so many items for what level he is. It's actually insane how much farm he has. And this was one of his heroes back in the day.
Yep.
In Sumail's peak period, it was one of them.
That Viper Strike is going to be so difficult to run out of this one. Miracle, he's got 17 one-charges, needs the space. The Bramble Maze is there, but not enough support. In fact, now aggressive Spirit. Sumail jumps forward, looking for Kuro. Can't close the distance easily. And Kuro's damage, he held onto that for a very long time and then hits hard into Sumail.
Tries to use Searing Chains, but doesn't work through a Shadow Realm. Yep. And again, they send him back, and he's fine. He can teleport back to the lane. This is actually so abusive when he gets this early. He can be all over the map. He just constantly top. Then he goes mid. Now he's top again. And that just means Matoma manages to leave the lane. He can't even sit here and hit creeps. He's going to have to jungle to finish his Midas. But then there's Misery. Like, the pressure that they are exerting on the map right now on EG's side is insane. 7 kills to 0.
And they are not letting Liquid come out at all. The Observer Wards are watching the farm areas of Team Liquid. They're just trying to slow down and kill off this bear. Down to 260 HP. Matubman still has a resummon available. But now Mind Control, this is the injection of money. So just before the 10-minute mark, EG have a 3k advantage. Mind Control and GH will have to work pretty hard to get rid of this, and EG appears to be very unaware of its existence. But the trade-off is Tier 2 tower up on top. Evil Geniuses will remove this from the map.
This is a super standard thing for a Bristle dual lane in the off lane to benefit from. And usually does catapult him into a pretty defensive position, but I'm a little worried for him when he's up against a Chen who can amplify damage, as well as a Viper who can disable the passive. So maybe he can be the focus that allows them to overpower EG in a team fight, but it's looking dangerous with their backup heroes.
Misery's just having too much fun.
He's strolling in.
It's all these shards. They're just sitting there, so Mind Control knows he is the man. This hero was picked in order to try and counter this Chen aggression. And with all the money that Mind Control's managed to pick up, with the support that GH will be able to provide, EG will see how much respect they actually give to Mind Control. Quite a large amount as they dodge that long cooldown Bramble Maze.
This guy's unkillable, right? For now, at least, until Viper rotates maybe. They don't really have the biggest damage dealer outside of magic damage. From Ember Spear, perhaps, but I don't think Arteezy cares to lane against this, because again, just huge feast lifesteal whenever he hits him. And he's got armless, so lots of armor on himself. So he's just survivable, and kind of similar to last game, that EG does like putting survivable cores in all 3 lanes as they just outfarm their opponents. But this time, EG also has the potential to rotate, which is a huge threat. We didn't see it from EG last game. It meant that in the long run, they kind of just didn't get that much done on the map, but it's got to be the big thing that Liquid's thinking about right now. They have to fear these ganks.
Yep. And they can bring in the support so easy. I think Misery is going to be ready to send Sumail back to base in just a second after they try and gank up, or at least do some heavy damage to the top, because the Veil of Discord, 11.5 minutes in, was just afforded by Sumail.
That's actually insane.
Yep.
He can burst damage kill somebody like Lone Druid so simply.
That's the scary thing. Looks like Courier is sending it out, so they're not going to send him back yet. He hasn't burned enough life in order to do that. Miracle is going to start the creep skip, and there's your TP on the way over. So snowball forward, they got blocked Miracle in position, the Sleight of Fist Searing Chains, absolutely perfect, and there's enough magical damage from Fear that Miracle should be able to tick out from this. And in fact, he will do exactly that. Sumail will take the kill on the very, very sad Timber. Now 5 of the 8 kills of EG.
What's so cool about that is that's just crit waiting, and then instantly when they see an opportunity, Sumail TP's in. Normally not the biggest threat in the laning stage, but because he was so far ahead, this is what Liquid has to deal with.
Mind Control's trying to soak up the rest of the Chen creeps. Doesn't allow him to fight, but Chen's bringing him back home. Only got 1 though.
Steals the bounty run though.
Good money for Mind Control. He's now actually bought a 4-staff of all things.
Yeah.
Trying to kite the Lifestealers open wounds, or?
I think so, yeah, and also ice shards as well. He can get himself in a safe position. They have kind of weak stuns. He can get himself out of the Nether Toxin as well if he's disabled on one point. And honestly, the item's really good on the hero. More int and 5 HP regen. Those are all things Bristle kind of needs. So I think this is a really smart grab here by Mind Control. Because he's basically we're not all in on the Bristleback, but he is by far the most farmed hero. He needs to force a situation where EG tries to kill him. He needs to barely survive and turn things around. That's how Liquid gets back in this game.
Matumberman is right underneath the Radiant Observer Ward. Crit was just waiting out his time for Sumail to move over. TP support is on the way. They've already flipped up the Lone Druid. Savage Roar making it difficult for Sumail, but nowhere near impossible. Sleight of Fist jumps around. Kuro and Mind Control came as quickly as they could, but it was already too late.
And Ice Shard just makes fear actually not matter. There's 2 sources of it actually on Liquid's side, but if they're in the right position, it just keeps Sumail on the Ember Spear right next to his opponents. And that's that survivability problem.
They found GH. No stun for Misery. He can
he'll be
Penitence, and that's it. In fact, I think he loses his army, right? He'll lose the Alpha Wolf.
But either way, that's pressure, right? Mind Control has to run at him, try to fight the Chen creeps. GH has to stop what he's doing briefly. And all of this pressure across the map, maybe it's not so gank focused, but it's just putting them in this giant advantage. Even Crit sitting behind here looking to get the kill on the Timber.
Yep. Missouri can't get the instant rotation. Instead, now it's going to be mid. Arteezy. The only reason I'm thinking mid is because he's getting surrounded on multiple sides, but Mind Control, this aggression just doesn't work. That's an armlet toggling Lifestealer with Infest available. And
he's got 3 points in Feast. He's so hard to kill right now. I mean, maybe Matumberman's kicking him for not having a true form level when he did get ganked there. A couple more 100 points HP could have made a difference, but it just feels like EG's playing the same game as they were last game. It's just they have different heroes and even more of a laning advantage. Maybe not on gold as much as they did with the prior game, but this one feels like far more control, and it feels like they have better late game this time.
Yeah. But can they keep the pressure up? Like, we're seeing Misery move around. You've got the BTs over on Sumail. They want to keep fighting, but I also see space being created for Matumberman on this Lone Druid. Radiance pick up.
True.
Wouldn't be the first time we've seen a Lone Druid being able just to out-split push the game and play full catch-up. Miracle is getting stronger and stronger as time goes on, too.
That's true, but they do have Boots of Travel Ember Spirit with Chen Sen back. In a lot of ways, you could look at that kind of like a coddle. Another benefit to having Ember Spirit.
Going to get the hell out of here. 4-staff up the hill will be the way to save him. And starts to TP. They 4-staff him again to the snowball. It'll still connect. Crit came a long way in, however. Underneath the shrine, extra life there for GH, but Sumail so strong, so much damage, especially when he gets that hood out first. And they can move on to Miracle. It's now 12-0 in favor of Evil Geniuses.
And definitely able to chase him down. Canceling the TP, the Lifestealer is providing to be not only a lane solution in this game, but also a counter to Dark Willow. There's actually no way they can stop Lifestealer from hitting people, and because they're underfarmed, he just does a huge amount of damage. Finishing up his Deso soon, like, they actually have all of the pieces that they need to beat Liquid's heroes in team fights. And maybe the Lone Druid can do this because they are close to the Relic, but he's almost got the Relic only, and EG's grouping up to push now.
Yep. He needs more than this. The Hand of Midas is not going to be enough, but at least he lets him semi keep up with the Lifestealer at 6.8k net worth. Same thing for Mind Control, but it took him big stacks for that. It took a lot of space, and this is where Liquid sacrificing. Matumberman just stays up on top lane, while Evil Geniuses claim now their 5th outer tower as this mid-tier 2 tower falls.
Somehow they missed the last hit there.
Don't know how.
One catapult. I'm sure they'll be kicking themselves for that, but Deso's finished on Lifestealer. That's better tower hitting. That means killing heroes like Lone Druid is going to be much easier than before. Bristleback, same situation.
They found another stack. It's only a double stack of Ancients this time around, but they can move so quickly. A Blink Dagger on Sumail. Okay, it's crazy to think he's playing the 3 position in this game. Like, right now, he's gotten so much money, you would be easily saying he's just had a really successful rotation as a 2. Miracle, Trap, inside the shards for the moment, wants to be able to Timber Chain away, does not have enough life to survive long enough, even with the Hood of Defiance triggered.
It's just the same thing all game. Sumail's pushing top. Hey, there's a gank opportunity. TP on a Chen creep, instantly he's there with a Blink Dagger. You couldn't even tell that he wasn't in that gank at the start of it because he got there so fast.
They're going to do Roshan now. Took a while, but with the Desolator up and running, it's a very easy task for them. This is why he's probably seen Matumba down on bottom lane, trying to at least get some kind of rebuttal.
And they've got the Medallion coming as well, so it'll fall even faster. So on the bright side, Liquid maybe can take the tower, but...
Here comes your Illuminate just to be a bit more of a pain in the butt. They have the Observer Board watching crit move. So Illuminate spam comes in, just drops RTZ a little bit lower.
He's just
the clap
helping.
from Roshan's not helping. Kuro, is he going to bramble and attempt to terrorize this? There's your jump in! EG, they're all running out of the pit! Kuro, he's attacking into RTZ, almost got the kill! He could have gone for Roshan! He had the choice! He tried to get the Lifestealer and almost succeeded!
Got them all to leave the pit, but a little too early. Roche hadn't quite fallen yet. And then Crit just defended the hill. As soon as he comes out of Shadow Realm, an easy punch, and EG gets a kill with their Aegis.
So EG, be ecstatic about that. Matumba now does have the Relic, and he's 300 gold away from having the Radiance recipe. So a large amount of space still for Liquid.
But even once he gets Radiance, I'm not sure it's the solution against EG's heroes. Viper is notoriously good against magic damage. A little mischance is a little scary. Ember Spirit can basically just block it with Flame Guard. He doesn't care that much, especially when he's this farmed and mobile. Like, at best, what this is going to provide Liquid is safer split pushing, but I could just see EG shift to this position where they just start killing the bear when it's split pushing, so...
Yep.
It's still something, though. It's a lot of net worth, and Matumba Man is on his way. He's about 100 gold away from finishing the Radiance, and at least his farm level will accelerate once he gets there.
Well, EG know what they're going for next. It was actually the 4th tower they killed in the middle, because that tier 1 is still alive on bottom. But not for much longer. And the army has arrived for EG, and Liquid were ready to try and dodge it. GH already was moving up towards top, actually used the recall onto Matumba to get him to the top lane as well. Any kind of extra cash that allows him to defend.
Sumail will go to the top lane here to push the lane out, and even with the Radiance, it's not going to matter. Sumail can jump back to the bot lane as fast as he wants to go.
GH has to TP.
Oh, okay, looks like the EG will defend all their lanes. Yeah, going for tier 2 when there would be 2 lanes pressured would not be ideal. So EG will just temporarily back. They'll give up the pressure of the tier 2 just to get better map control, and then they'll group again with the Aegis before it expires and go for another objective.
No surprise at all when Matumba's got the Academ Scepter queued up. This is going to be all about delay, split push, high ground, and get some kind of trade-off against evil geniuses.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, GH also has a pretty fast Ags coming, considering the circumstances. He's already got a 4-staff. He's 2,000 gold away from finishing that. That could slow things down a bit, but it might, like against a Lifestealer and a Viper, I don't think it's going to be able to stop those guys because they're naturally so tanky. They can just keep hitting the tower once in a while, even if they get blasted a bit.
Yeah. It's better than it could have been for GH. It's the fact that you also get that extra cash from the stacks. He got all of that from the Ancients, plus the levels that came along with it. And he's getting a lot of money from this top lane, continuously pressuring him with the Illuminate from the trees. It doesn't matter if the bear doesn't get the last hits for the money.
Oh, they're going to find Dark Willow here. Oh, he doesn't see.
Oh boy.
Must have been looking somewhere else. Gets caught. No Shadow Realm. That's an instant death. They'll try pressuring the tower at least.
Are they actually going to try and fight up on top? GH gives...
They'd love a solo hero if they can find one, but I don't think that they can deal with Sumail here.
Sumail's going to slide a fist trying to go after the bear. But the bear's in the trees and has return available.
Yeah, just dodging the fear, basically. And Sumail again pushes out a creep wave. 6, 0, and 6 right now in Sumail.
Miracle's creep skipping the mid. This is what this game has turned into right now. Jump in, creep skip, and then probably just TP away to safety. He's got a dire Observer Ward, so he knows just how much he can get away with.
It's cool, abusing Chakra Magic as well.
Yeah, Courier.
I mean, Timber does like no damage anyway, so
yeah.
getting this last hit would be really hard. Yasha coming out for RTZ as well, so he's just all worried about movement speed right now.
Sumail, he's chasing GH. GA's 4 staffs up, another Spirit jump over. GH, the side of Fist Searing Chains will get him. Very optimistic TP away to safety. Hence it doesn't work, but on bottom lane, Microtrol now has a full Solar Crest available. He's looking at Misery. So he starts it up. Still has 4 stops, so even with the slow from Fear, he can still move around. The Bears are coming in through the rear. And okay, so is RTZ right onto Matumba. He'll move his attention over towards the bear. That's so much swipe damage from Arteezy. Liquid had no other choice but to retreat.
And they've got to defend this. I mean, basically everybody on EG is here. The creep waves are in perfect positions. This is finally time for them to force a fight.
There was no early Illuminate spam either. The Keeper of the Light being down.
Yeah, just getting alive now. I mean, he's going to be able to slow things down, but... And I don't think they have a mech yet either, so this is a little hard for EG if they kill a creep wave, but Arteezy can just do this. Pop Rage, go high ground, slap the tower.
Creep wave is gone. It took 2 Quill sprays from Mind Control as well as the Illuminate, and the creep wave just cannot survive.
So maybe maybe EG does have to go back then.
They're pulling the mid creep wave over so Arteezy can farm it and keep the pressure on bottom. Samel's the only one who really has to go back because he can just BT back into the fight or Spirit back into the fight.
Just like a farm maximization thing. Pull the creep wave to Arteezy. He doesn't have to run as far. He feels really safe hitting creeps right under tower because there are so few disables. I mean, the one thing that would be dangerous would be a Terrorize into like a Bramble Maze or Terrorize into Mana Leak, but they don't even have Mana Leak yet. It's only a level 9 Keeper of the Light. Nothing weird here. It's just Liquid's at such a disadvantage right now that they're forced to play with less resources. Very reminiscent of the last game, but I don't see the same light at the end of the tunnel that Anti-Mage provided.
Don't worry about what just happened before, Samel. Nobody saw you TP onto a creep that was dying to an entire wave, so you have now walked to the top lane. But it can all pan out if he gets the kill onto GH. Sleight of Fist, holding the Searing Chains, wants to ensure that GH just can't TP out, and there's your 4-staff. No TP. GH realizes he's dead.
Perfectly looking for the split pushing supports. Saw this very similar in the first series today between Vici Gaming. And if you can just catch those guys as they're just crossing the map, or you know that they're going to go prep to split push, and you get them when they're there, now it just makes your push even easier. They're not going to be able to go high ground for a while just because the Coddle spam, but again, their cores are survivable, they push out the waves, they get farm on 3 lanes, and Liquid has to deal with the scraps. And in the meantime, EG can hit neutral camps between each wave. So they should just accelerate in terms of gold advantage really hard right now.
Oh, Samel's going to find... No. L-Dog.
On the bright side for Liquid, though, there's no Aegis now. So if they do take a fight, they have a better opportunity to win. But their heroes don't have a lot of items. Dark Willow is super poverty right now. Coddle is their farm support, who's not necessarily the best team fight gank hero. It's more of like map control and stuff. And look at this, they can just instantly...
Goodbye, Kuro.
That's like support Tusk dealing half HP damage with an ultimate. That almost never happens from Walrus Punch. So bad place for Liquid.
It does still beg that question, right? Like we're wondering about it, what happens when a Dark Willow has no farm in one of the top tier teams that are out there. And, well, we're kind of getting the answer to all of this. Bottom lane, Miracle. He's in trouble. Searing Chain starts his TP very quickly, but the Snowball will cancel out the TP. And that's a big kill. No Timbersaw for 52 seconds. They needed his Chakram to keep the high ground defense going. And EG, and this feels very reminiscent of a final in Frankfurt. Like, this is 19-0 in favor of EG this time.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy they haven't got a single kill yet, but with the heroes that they have, it makes sense. Lack of disables. I think Dark Willow was also under farm last game too, but I think he only had like 200 GPM at the end of the game. He's buying a lot of wards and things, but he still felt his impact just because of the circumstances of the game. The heroes they had, how they matched up. But the bottom left half of the map has been entirely EG's. I feel like we haven't seen Liquid cross the river once this game.
The bear is crossed, and that's all. Like, the bear right now is actually farming up 2 camps in the Radiant jungle. Okay. But top lane, GH, oh, he's going to be really sad about this one. He's getting closer and closer towards this Aghanim Scepter, but he just cannot complete it.
He went the 4-step first, and it's a great item, but his opponents have Blink Daggers and skills that gap close. So if he's remotely out of position, he's easy to kill.
They need some kind of way just to get multiple heroes into safety inside their base. They have to play the positional game. Even with Illuminate spam, it may not be enough.
Just because EG, as long as they don't do anything super overly aggressive, if they don't do anything stupid, I think is safe to say, then Liquid's not going to get those opportunities. And this is EG's bread and butter. This is the best thing, this is the thing that they're best at, that they force, this is their play style. Push lanes with cores, choke out the map, and have so much overwhelming gold advantage that it doesn't matter what heroes you have that are good at high ground.
It's called farm areas with bears on the opposite side of the map, where EG just will never be. This is actually getting him really close. Matumbaman is only 500 gold away from having the Aghanim Scepter, and then the bear can finally start attacking.
It's also very depressing because he's farming neutral camps with just Radiance Burn. This is a Mud Golem camp. He's not cutting creep waves. He doesn't feel comfortable doing that. So he knows if his bear gets ganked 300 gold, he resummons. If they go high ground and kill the bear again, all of his net worth is worth nothing.
Yep.
He goes down to like a 500 net worth hero for just his boots. Oh, he's got to sell 600. Can't discount that.
Viper's TPing over. We'll realize that something is not right here because there's a bunch of shard golems, and this creep wave he'll cut. And with this creep wave, actually there's still not enough money for the Aghanims. But Roshan going down for EG. Second one, so cheese will be available too. EG in a very good position to fight. You got that Aghanims freshly over on the Viper. And the slot's open for Arteezy to grab the Aegis if he wants to go aggressively high ground, which is exactly what will happen. Fear will take the cheese. And
this snag of Aegis is almost surely going to lead to EG finally hitting the moment where they feel like going high ground. We can see that they have a massive advantage. Liquid and EG likely know that as well, but it's always scary when you're this far up. In a game that looks unlosable, are you going to do the overly aggressive thing that leads to Liquid pulling a teamfight win? And if that happens, EG's out of the tournament, so they have to be super careful here.
This is not what you wanted to send the bear. Arteezy going to find it, and a quick return. This actually hurts a lot because you want... Right now, Matumba's wanting to use that TP to get the bear across the river to continue the creep skipping. So now he can't do it for over a minute. Yeah, because the best thing he can do right now is delay EG being able to go high ground by having creeps. That's canceled now. It's going to go top, but that's not going to stop them in the mid lane necessarily. Sumail has an invis rune too. Like, depending on Matumba's timing, which it will be a savage roll, and Sumail dodges it with a sleight of fist. He still needs half a second to get the distance, to get the return off. It will not happen, however. There is a resummon on the bear, but not something you want to be burning before a team fight. Good successful first gank on the bear, and high ground time, I think. GH has the Aghanim Scepter. So you still got another 3 minutes 20 seconds until daytime. Man, they want to go high ground so hard, but there's just never any creeps there. They just keep blasting them away. Miracle moving to the bot lane, push out that wave. They have to keep playing this game. Push out a lane, sometimes in a dangerous way. Also, that it makes it harder for EG to hit buildings. Oh, EG's giving it a shot. As that's Viper Strike onto Mind Control. Damn, he's really tanky, sitting on the front lines with the Bramble down. EG trying to be careful about retreating out. But they still do heavy damage to the tier 3 tower, so bit by bit, they'll be able to get through this. Earn him up, get him some heals, and then next creep wave they're going to do the same thing. Hit as long as they can, pop Rage towards the end of this when his HP gets a bit low, and then take the tower. Instantly rages off the blinding light. Fortification has to be burned by Team Liquid as Bristleback forced after way to safety. Even Miracle with the Whirling Death, trying to keep Arteezy down low, but the jump in. Woo, that was quick. He's playing with him. But he just wants to buy time, and he gets it done. Tower's gone. Half HP on Arteezy, uses Rage, and now he's still got Aegis. Yeah, even if you do catch him, like, you've still got the armlet toggle. You've got a lot of problems. Sumail's going to TP down towards the bottom. The Lone Druid Bear was pushing this one out. So they are getting a small trade-off. Miracle, anyone got a 4-star available? Right now he's trapped inside the shards with no safety to come his way. Reactive armor charges, they are holding on to it, and there's your disengage, the terrorize from Kuro, creating space, but they've lost their Timbersaw. Arteezy, the Aegis Immortally, just toggling through all of this. They haven't lost anybody yet for Evil Geniuses, just the Aegis and the Immortal. They want to keep going, they want to keep it flawless, 22-0. At the moment, Arteezy will slap down the melee racks. The Syrian Chains on Mind Control, but EG got what they wanted. And will they get back out again safely? Arteezy, he's actually just rotating in towards the mid. He wants to keep going. He actually picked up the cheese as well, so he's got that extra bit of life. Rages up, beating into the tier 3 tower. And maybe this is that time they disengage now. I feel like it's a pretty good time to continue. They're all pretty full. Arteezy's going to get healed all the way here. He's got a cheese on his hero as well. And with the lack of disables, I mean, it's basically terrorized, but that was used. Another tower goes down. If they get 2 racks here at 30 minutes, it's looking like Liquid's not going to be able to come back from this one. So they need to get some kind of a catch here, but it's so difficult against Lifestealer. He just sits in the front, and he's got so many survivability. Change from Sumail. Caught Kuro, caught Miracle. They want to Timber Chain away, but Sumail and Crit so quick in on the stuns. Miracle can't even Timber Chain out of this one. Reactive armor charges just don't exist for him anymore again. Mind Control. Now the front line is trying to work with the bear. Miracle low on life, over on the side. He wants to start regenerating. He'll only do that back in the fountain. Team Liquid, is this the time you call it? You are getting completely destroyed inside your base. Sumail wants to go for more. He wants to keep this stat pattern continuing. Competitive games have never been this one-sided against Team Liquid. As EG now go in for the Megas. Mind Control back to the front lines, but back into the death pool as well. Man, it looks like that's going to be it. I mean, 30 minutes, triple racks here. Can Liquid even kill creeps easily? No. And double Steering Chain again. Samael is just so good with this. Jumps back in after Kuro. Kuro has to escape out to the Shadow Realm. GH a 4-star up. They keep the searing chains on. GH almost, in fact, does tick out to fierce damage. They are finishing this job. Liquid are making them work for it. Maybe they're just looking for some extra time just to discuss Game 3. Either that or they're hoping for something miraculous. They're jumping around the back lines. Kuro and Miracle don't find the target. Embedded, in fact, it's EG finding GH. He's down as well. 27 for 0. The creeps are too big, and it is a flawless victory for